If you've been following headlines about the West Los Angeles housing market and feeling more confused than informed, you're not alone. And that's exactly why I created this housing market update playlist. My name is Caleb Ramsey. I'm a local Los Angeles realtor, and this channel is built to give you clarity, not clickbait. Calm guidance, not fear-based headlines. And most importantly, local truth from a local expert. Because West Los Angeles is not one market, and it's my backyard. It's dozens of micro markets behaving very differently at the same time. This playlist is where we'll slow things down, zoom in, and talk about what's actually happening on the ground, especially here on the west side. That's so important. So if you're new to this channel, I'd recommend starting with my other introduction videos first. I've got separate playlists that walk you through moving to Los Angeles, buying tips and tricks, selling scenarios, and investing insights. All of them give you the big picture of home ownership. This playlist is different. This is where we check the pulse of the market month by month and talk about what those shifts mean for real people making real decisions. So a quick note before we go any deeper. If you're thinking about buying, selling, investing, or relocating anywhere in the Los Angeles area, I help people do that every single week. You can call me, text me, email me, or grab one of the free guides linked below this video. Everything you need is right there in the description. Now let's talk about what you'll actually get from this playlist. Every month, and sometimes more often when the market is moving quickly, I'll break down these 5 core things: pricing trends, inventory levels, buyer demand, seller behavior, interest rates, and general economic activity. But I don't just throw numbers at you. I explain what those numbers mean depending on where you're buying or where you're selling. Because what's happening in Santa Monica is not the same as Culver City. Venice behaves very different than Marina del Rey. Brentwood doesn't follow the same rhythm as Westchester or Palms. And national headlines almost never reflect those differences. So here's how I approach these updates. First, we start with the broader Los Angeles market. This gives us context. Right? Are prices generally rising, flattening, or adjusting? Is inventory tightening or expanding? Are buyers active, cautious, or sitting on the sidelines? Then we zoom into West LA specifically and break it down neighborhood by neighborhood. For example, in Santa Monica, we'll talk about pricing per square foot, condo versus single family performance, coastal premiums, and how buyer expectations shift seasonally. In Venice, we'll look at the gap between the asking price and sold prices, how days on the market are changing, and where lifestyle demand is still driving competition. In Marina del Rey, we'll focus on condos, investor activity, rental demand, and how interest rates directly affect those markets more than others. In Culver City, we'll track school-driven demand, inventory pressure, and how tech and creative industry development influences buyer confidence. In Brentwood, we'll look at the luxury buyer behavior, longer decision timelines, and how sellers are adjusting their expectations, or how they're not. In Palms and Mar Vista, we'll talk about entry-level pricing, first-time buyers, new construction demands or development, and what segments stay relevant when the market slows. And when something unusual happens, a sudden surge in listings, a spike in price reductions, a wave of multiple offers, we'll pause and I'll explain why. Another big part of these updates is timing. I'll talk openly about seasonality, what tends to happen in spring versus summer, why fall can quietly be one of the best windows for buyers, and why winter isn't dead, it's just misunderstood. So if you're a buyer, I'll help you understand when patience helps and when waiting actually costs you leverage. If you're a seller, we'll talk honestly about preparation, pricing, and what buyers are truly responding to right now Not what worked 2 years ago or last year, but right now. And if you're an investor, we'll dig into the rent trends, current regulation and policy updates, and which parts of West LA still make sense long term. And if you're relocating from anywhere else in the United States or the world, these updates will help you avoid one of the biggest mistakes I see, assuming the entire city moves in one direction at the same time. It doesn't. One of the things I care most about with this playlist is removing the fear from the decision-making process. Fear makes people rush. Fear makes people freeze. Fear makes people listen to the loudest voice in the room instead of the most informed one. My goal here is to replace fear with clarity. You'll hear me say things like, well, this depends. And that's intentional. Real estate is nuanced, especially in West Los Angeles. Anyone giving you one-size-fits-all answers isn't paying attention. Some months, the advice I give is slow down and be selective. Other months, it's, hey, move quickly, but strategically. Sometimes the right move is to wait. Sometimes waiting is the most expensive choice you can make. These monthly updates will help you understand the difference between all of this. I'll also share what I'm seeing directly from the field. Conversations I'm having with other agents and buyers. Feedback I'm getting from showings and open houses. Offer terms and trends that just took place on deals happening right now. And then also, like, of those deals, are they falling apart and why? This is all a real life layer that matters just as much as the stats. So here's how I recommend you use this playlist. If you're actively buying or selling, watch the most recent update and then go back 1 or 2 months to see the trend. If you're planning a move later this year, just watch consistently so the market doesn't surprise you when you're ready. If you're just trying to understand Los Angeles real estate without the noise, this becomes your steady reference point. And if you ever want help applying what you're seeing here to your specific situation, that's what I'm here for. All my contact info is below, so grab a guide, book a call, or just reach out and ask a question. New market update videos go up monthly, so make sure you're subscribed. And if a specific neighborhood or topic would be helpful, drop it in the comments. I read those and I build content around what people actually want to know. Thanks for being here. This is the real story of the Los Angeles housing market from a real Los Angeles realtor.